Welcome back to A Celtic State of Mind. I'm Paul John Dykes. It's day one of the new campaign, 2024-25, and I'm here with Sean Connolly to discuss the first half against Kilmarnock. We've gone in, it's been comfortable, Sean, isn't it?
Yeah, but we've made it comfortable. I thought we played really well. A couple of notes down, we looked sharp, playing with good invention, imagination, and movement. So we have been really great. Kilmarnock did start like they showed signs of intent. A couple of late tackles from Fraser Murray, who I don't know anything about him personally, but you might suggest he has an emotional involvement in the outcome of the game above his professional one, based on those tackles. I couldn't say for sure, but yeah, I thought we've looked really good. Hatate and O'Reilly have been sensational. Scales is basically playing centre mid the way he's been playing. Just watching the way he's playing, it was like, kind of making me think of like, I don't know if you watch American football at all, but they do this thing where quarterbacks, what they call working through the progressions. So where when they get the ball in their hands, they go the first read, second read, third read, fourth read. And it looks like he's kind of doing that. He's turning himself like 30, 40 degrees each time and just kind of working his way through the progressions and effectively playing quarterback. And I think that, I don't know if Kilmarnock are letting him do it or not, but either way, like whatever is happening, he's had a great game. He's been very accurate. He's been driving us, and it seems to have given him the confidence where he's got up and scored a great header from that set piece, which again, Matt O'Reilly, who's having a great game, he gets the assist for that.
You know, there's so many things to take from that first half. You're right. It wasn't comfortable because it was an easy game. It was comfortable because Celtic worked at it. Some of the intricate passing movements, Sean, keeping possession, losing it, but then winning it back immediately and pinning Kilmarnock into their own defensive third. It takes a hell of a lot of work for a team to do that. The possession and the domination in that first half was incredible. We have seen many times last season where we've had the possession, we've not actually turned the screw. But today, I just felt we looked a wee bit more clinical. And Hatate's a part of that. I mean, obviously, he gets the first goal. I want to start off with Hatate, because if you contrast day one this season to day one last season, and Hatate not getting into the start 11 against Ross County and David Turnbull, playing really well and getting a goal. And then for the rest of that campaign, Hatate never really got started. I know that he was in and out, injuries, etc. But that's the kind of start that we want. I mean, I know it's easy with hindsight and all the rest of it. I said last season, I thought that Hatate, O'Reilly and Abada were the three players I was looking forward to seeing develop under Rodgers. Abada, we know what happened there. O'Reilly was sensational. Maybe this season we'll see it from Hatate, certainly on that first 45, Sean.
Yeah, and the third one you mentioned there was Abada, and he actually came into my thoughts at one point in there because there was a ball that comes across from Matt O'Reilly to the back post, and there was like no one anywhere, right? And I don't think Kuhn has been okay, but I don't think he's been as involved as he should be, to be honest. But there was a ball that came across from Matt O'Reilly to the back post, and my thought was Abada or Jota would have been in that area.
Ghosting,
and which was something they two both specialised in. And so I don't want to be negative because we've been great. It's been a great first half. We've played really well, but that was one thing that I did note down. It's been good, man. I've been enjoying it. We've missed it. It's been great from the flag to the tifo to the new kit with the green flashes, which I love. Great one-touch football you mentioned. The players just seem to know where each other are. Like it's getting pinged into them, and first touch straight to a guy, even though there's like almost no space in there at times, and they're still managing to find each other. Some Kyogo where he takes that touch and just he's the Kilmarnock centre back for dead. And look, he had a good shot as well. Kyogo, he could have had a goal, but he's been unlucky in a sense. And I guess I'm a little bit hard. Kuhn probably should have scored actually from the rebound too. So look, we've had our chances, but we've also scored two, and it's the possession's just been, was it 83% or something? It was.
That's frightening.
Yeah.
And imagine playing against that. You're basically chasing shadows. And I agree with you, but Kuhn was my. If Hatate, Abada, and Matt O'Reilly were my bets last season, this season I had bet on Kuhn, and I've got to put this in here because it's not often we get it right, Sean. I said that before the Man City game. So when he started running right, I thought I always knew there was a player in there. But I agree with you. He's not been as impactful, and I don't know if it's because obviously he's been injured. Obviously, he missed the Chelsea game, but there was one movement where he just simply wouldn't give up possession, and there was nothing on. By the time he plays the ball, he's playing it to the left winger, James Forrest. He's made his way from the right wing position right across the park. Very Brendan Rodgers-esque in that, just keep the ball, keep recycling the ball. And there's a lot of people coming in, and I'm going to bring in as many as I can, basically saying that it looks as though Rodgers has worked wonders with the same group of players. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some players who may regress eventually, but there's some other players in that squad who will improve. I don't know if we'll see the level of improvement that we saw in someone like Matt O'Reilly. If you do, then listen, you've won a watch. But I would like to see more of Kuhn. I hope he doesn't get hooked at half time, Sean. I know that we've got the likes of Yang or even Johnston on the bench who could come on, but just let him play through it. He's been pretty quiet, and don't hook him off every time he's gone through a wee phase like that. Give him games would be my kind of approach to that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Minutes in the legs, it's effectively, you're right, he missed half a pre-season, or a bit of pre-season anyway. And so, yeah, I agree. Like, don't give them a place to hide. Stick them back out there. Tell them stand up and be counted. I think that's, and overall, we've been great. I don't want to be too negative, and I hope that he does come out and show it in the second half, especially he's up against a teenager, a kid that is not played for Kilmarnock. Though didn't play in Europe anyway. So it feels like there's an opportunity there, but it almost feels like it's almost irrelevant that you're up against X player when you're playing Kilmarnock, because really what you're up against is the team block when you're playing Kilmarnock, and that's why I would focus on the team performance, which has been really fast, sharp, great first touch, and we have, you can see the quality that makes these players £30,000 a week players versus Kilmarnock's £3,000 a week players, which is no harm to £3,000 a week is sensational for a professional footballer, and if I could have ever earned that, I would have done the same. But that's why there's a 10x difference in their salaries. That we're very good.
It's levels, isn't it? I mean, you're talking about the sharpness and the intricate passing displays. A big part of that has gone down the left-hand side. And here we've got a player, Jamesy Forrest, playing probably on his weaker side. But he finished the season spectacularly. He was then given the rewards of going to the Euros. Unfortunately, didn't play, Sean. And even in my own mind, and I've always been a massive fan of Jamesy, I was thinking to myself, can he really continue that into this season? And if so, would it be in cameo roles, or will he get a run of games? He's been brilliant again. He's just picked up from where he left off.
He has, yeah. It's a surprise as well, because when players get to that age, and their wingers, you kind of expect a massive drop off. But obviously, he's playing on the left now, whereas he's always in the past he's always played on the right. So I don't know if that's a tactical thing where he's not trying to hit the byline and take the guy for pace, but what he is doing is shown he does have a good touch, a good read of the game, and we saw that at the end of last season, coming in and from the wing, the left wing, to score in the cup semi, that sort of thing, and he's just picked it straight back up. And the funny thing is, if you take the pre-season, the games against Man City, for example, as a signal of intent, you would have expected Maeda to be starting today, but Forrest, third man in line, straight back up, straight back in, and has looked the better of the players, the wingers on the pitch, and very impressed with him as well.
Yeah, lots of people agreeing with that. We need to speak about Liam Scales, but before we do that, that movement that you spoke about, the wee turn, one touch, Kyogo, and then the wee dink, if that goes in, it's up there. It's up there as, you're going to be seeing that in the real.
Yeah, there's something about it's hard to describe when you let the ball run across your body and it just kind of opens things up. It makes the defender look like an absolute mug, but it's not just about the touch at that point. It's about the movement and the reading, and you're actually baiting, like kind of rope-a-dope in the defender. And it was very, very impressive. And it's something that he's maybe not had a chance to do as often in games in the past. And not to say he can't do it, but just the way we've kind of played with him on the shoulder. whereas in that moment he's kind of come in off the line, and it's not something he does as often. But it was great to see, and shows that he can do it, and that is something that is a weapon in our arsenal.
I want to speak about Liam Scales, and I want to stick on the positive side of things here, Sean, because that's been an excellent first half performance. Did it concern you at all with the announcement that Kyogo has signed up to a new agency? Because I don't think that players tend to do that if they're just looking to sort out some image rights and a new boot deal. It worries me a wee bit when that kind of thing happens.
Mm-hmm. Is it a concern? Potentially, yeah. But then, yeah, look, is if he's playing for a move, he's not going to go anywhere unless we get a couple of people in. So we'll wait and see how things materialize. But I'm not overly concerned about the agency thing if we're getting performances and efforts from him like we are today. I'm happy as long as he's contributing. Whatever's coming down the line is it's not inconsequential, but what's more important is that when he's on the pitch, he contributes and does his best and gives his best effort, and we're seeing that today. So I'm not overly concerned in that sense, and I'd like to focus on today rather than the broader issue of the squad, which may materialize out of that.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Scalesy, then let's have a look at Liam Scales. Scalesy boy, get in, says Patrick Harold. Yes, he's been excellent in the first half, and as I said at the beginning of the game, Sean, although it's an area of the park that I want to improve on, had we just done a Seville last season, we would still be sitting here talking about areas where we can improve. It's nothing of a personal nature against Liam Scales. He's shown today that 99% of games that he plays for Celtic, he can put in a performance. He was excellent in the first half, and he grabs the goal, which he well deserved. He started off a lot of the attacks as well.
Yeah, he was very, very instrumental on the ball in that first half. The only note you would easily argue he was the best player on the pitch. Not easily, excuse me, because Matarelli and Hatate have been great as well, and they would definitely be in with a shout. But yeah, he's been much more involved than Carter Vickers, and potentially the reason why Kuhn and AJ haven't been as involved in the game is because it's going through Scales, Taylor, Hatate, Forrest on the other side, starting at Scales. So, and if Carter Vickers was doing the same thing as Scales, then potentially there'd be more for Kuhn and AJ than the other side. But yeah, he's really he looks like he belongs there, doesn't he? And of course, we always want to improve, but he's been one of the best players out there so far today.
Yeah, without a doubt. Another shout out from Brown Warrior. Thank you for this as well. God bless Neil Lennon and his family. 100% thoughts and prayers with Neil and everyone that knew his mother as well. The crunching tackle on Scales pretty early on in the game went unpunished. It was a disgrace. I was quite surprised at that. You brought it up earlier on, Sean, and I just think that it doesn't matter when a tackle happens, and it doesn't matter the fixture that it happens in. Let's just stick to the rules and get the boy booked for it.
Yeah, and I think it was two, I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe the studs on Taylor's foot was an offence by the same player in the 5th minute. And then I think it was about 7 minutes later, Scales gets a late one from the same player. So even if and I would have argued that either of those was yellow cards, and if not least the two of them combined. So I think the referees absolutely let Fraser Murray away with one there.
Yeah, without a doubt. Final couple of messages coming through. Thanks for everybody getting involved. Great seeing Jim Craig. Yes, it was, Joseph. And George Nicholson also says Danny McGrain looks ready to come on and play. What a legend he is as well. Scales playing very well. I'm going to agree with you, Eric. I think he's had a very good first half. He's been immense, says opinionated Glaswegian. Moved the ball very quickly, which was most fans' gripe last season. Yeah, there are certain things that can be improved upon, and Rodgers can work with these guys and improve them on an individual basis. Rob Lilly says that he was even better than Starfelt. And Scales, man of the match so far, says Rory Boy. Yes, that would be a good discussion to have. Let's go out in the second half and get another couple of goals. It's flat.
Yep, agree with you there, Paul. It's hopefully get a couple of things. St Mirren won 3-0 just during the first half there. So hopefully we can get a couple more goals to take us back to the top of the table where we belong. Currently, a position currently occupied by St Mirren, curiously.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, go and enjoy the game and join us at full time, myself and Sean Conley for a Celtic.